Wait a minute, I'm just starting the mm, meet, starting the recording. Okay.
Actually, recording was started way earlier. It was showing 10 minutes was already recorded.
No, 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 no. I was just experimenting a different thing before the
Oh,
meet.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, okay. So we have 47 attendees also. Okay, let's go forward. Okay, let's go. Let's see. Um, let's go. Now what we have. Now we will talk about strings. EF is equals to. Now what strings are? Strings. Acha, do we know what characters is? Character is the now first of all, to understand what string is, we will understand what character is. Okay. So character is nothing but a value inside these double quotes. Okay, inside these double quotes, a character is nothing but a value inside these double quotes. Okay, a single value. This was a character, and a set of all of these values are called string. Okay, we will understand. We will go a little bit more deep into it. So this is a character. So all of the keys on your keyboards are just characters. Okay, are just characters. Now a set of these characters are called string. So let's say I've created a string called hello world. This is a string. And you can also instantiate a screen like string like this. G hello world. Using double quotes. Okay. This is single quote. This is double quotes. And these are both valid strings. Okay, and these are also equivalent to. Now moving forward to booleans. Booleans are nothing but boolean values, true or false. So h equals to true or I equals to false are boolean values. Also I के बाद also hij equals to 1. You can also consider this as a boolean value. You can consider this as a boolean value. So this thing j equals to 1 can be considered as true. In which case I will explain. Okay, true and false. Now, now we have covered some basic data types. Okay, with data types: integer, float, string, and boolean. Now we know that how to instantiate a variable, and this process is called variable instantiation. Okay, now we will look forward to printing out these values onto our terminal. Okay, print statements. Now print. Okay, I will just explain it with the with these things. Okay, so let's say print a. Now I will click the big green button running, and it's just print me the value of a onto our console. This is our console window. Okay, this is our console window. Now now coming to our float thing. Similarly, we can also print floats. Okay, C. Then there are, so this is I just see one more thing. So you can see that I am using two hashtags here. Okay, one hashtag, a single hashtag here. So what this hashtag does, it creates a comment. Okay, that's also an important concept. Hashtag print value. Now comments. Now what comment is? So when I use this thing, this is called this is our hashtag, and everything you have written after this line is going to be ignored in the process of interpretation. When our interpreter, when our Python interpreter, what we study in our session one, then this machine, this black box, ignores this line when it's interpreting the text line by line. Okay, so this is called single line comment. Then we have multi-line comments. Let's say you want to just comment out this entire thing. You are not going to put hashtag everywhere. So we will have multi-line comments too. So multi-line comments too. And these are now we used double quotes when we are instantiating or declaring a string. Okay. Similarly, here we will use double quotes, but instead of two double quotes, we will use three double quotes. And now this has become a multi-line comment. And now whatever you write after this will be ignored by the interpreter. Okay. This is called multi-line comment. And I will just explain it with this thing, multi-line comment. Okay, good. Moving forward, now we have the knowledge of comments, what comments are. Now, why we need comments? Let's say we don't know what this 3.14 means. So I write a comment that this is the value of y. I don't know what this minus y, why there is why there is something written here. Like why d is equals to minus 0.5. Let's say there is some weird reason of it. Like it's because I didn't clear qualified for J. Very weird region, but yeah, you may get the idea with this. No? I didn't want to write 0. I didn't want to write 0.5. Okay. Yeah, I want us to write this. Okay. It's because I didn't want to write 0.5. So we use comment to to write little notes in our program. So let's say you are returning to your project after 6 months. You keep it clean. How to keep clean? When you are returning to your project after 6 months, okay, so you don't know why there is 3.14, why there is minus 0.15. So you put comment the last time you use this project. Okay, now you know that 3.14 is pi and minus 0.1 minus 0.5 because you don't want to write 0.5. That's the thing. Okay, that's the that's why comments are used. Now we were talking about print statements. Now we can print literally anything on this thing. Okay? Now we can print our integer values. We can print our individual characters. Okay. Let's print individual characters. Okay. So I can print A. Okay. That's just print the character A onto my screen. Now see, this A and this A are not equivalent. This A is a variable. The variable in which we are storing the value 10, and this A, this A is just a character A from the you can rate characters from letters. It is just an English alphabet. It is not a variable like in sense XYZ from mathematics, similar to those variables. That's A. Now moving forward, similarly, commenting out. Okay, there is to comment out. There is a shortcut called control then forward backslash. Okay, so if I say shortcut for commenting, it's control plus forward backslash. Okay. Now you can print Boolean values, not Boolean values. You can print H, and it will just print true in the terminal. Okay. You can print 1 equals to 1. Okay, we will understand this what 1 equals to 1 means. That's the basic thing. You can just ignore the entire thing. Okay, you can ignore it. Okay, don't put anything, and it will just print a space here. Okay, there is a space. So let's say there is print something, some string, then there is another print statement, and there are some more strings. And when you click run, there is a space between these two values. Okay, so we can use a single print statement without any value inside the double parenthesis. This is called double parenthesis. Okay, uh, double parenthesis. So if there is no value inside these double parentheses, it will just print a space. Okay, blank space. Now moving forward, we know how print statement works. We know comments. Now there are some things, okay, which I want to elaborate. Okay, let's just create a new file. Uh, Starting from integers. What happened? Okay. Now let's see. Let's study integers in detail. Okay. Now we have some basic operations which we can perform. So before moving on to integers, I like to take a time to explain you operators. Okay, let me just create one more operator. Operators dot py. So we have some basic operators I've mentioned in the Obsidian file. These are some basic operators which most of us should know. Okay, plus operator, division operator, subtraction operator, multiplication operator, modulus operator, and of n to the power m operator, and GIF of 2 by 3 operator. I will just explain all of them. Okay. So सबसे पहले starting from operators, add. I will just take two integers as an example. Integer a equals to 10, b equals to minus 23. Okay. Now addition operator. Addition is a print a plus b. Let's just run this thing. Okay. Should run this one now. See, so a plus b is minus 13. 10 plus 10 plus minus 23 is minus 13, obviously. Now there is subtraction operator. Okay. This one, it's not just a big deal. Running the same statement again. Yeah, sorry, my bad. We have 33. 10 minus 23. So what happen here? Basic mathematics, 10 minus 23 is equals to 33. Okay. And here tan hash commenting tan plus minus 23 is minus 30. Okay. Now division operator. Again, also you can now divide by 0 in Python. It will just throw an error. You will understand what throw error is. Yeah. Okay. Division operator. Print a divided by b. That will just print a divided by b. Some weird value, which is obviously 10 divided by minus 23 is some random number. Okay. Uh, just clear the question. Okay. Now this is division operator. And what other operators we had? We had multiplication operator. We have modulus operator and we have these operators. Now, seeing multiplication operator. Okay. Print A times B, which obviously produce A, sorry, 10 times B, 10 times minus 23 equals to 230 minus 230. Okay. We'll print the statements. Minus 230. Very good. Moving forward, we have modulus. And for example of modulus, I will just take a different example. Let's just take some new variables. C equals to 5 and D equals to 2. Now I will print C module D. Oh my god, percentage. Okay, I will run this thing. It returns me 1. So what actually this percentage signs or percentage this operator does, it returns what? It returns that when 5 is divided by 2, the remainder is 1. Because obviously 5 is divided by 2. So the quotient is 2. So 5, 4, and then 1. Okay, not a big deal. Then we have to the power. So modulo again, sorry, to the power operator. And this operator is only specific to Python. Okay, you are not going to find this operator in some other programming language. It's only in Python as of now. So let's raise 2 to the power 5. Okay, so D star star C. That's obviously 2 raised to the power 35. 2 raised to the power 5, which is 32. Okay, 32. Very good. Now another operator, the GIF operator or the greatest integer function. Again, I'm going to use these two numbers C and D. C great GIF of D. 2. So what does that mean? That when 5 is divided by 2, but the GIF of the 2.5 is 2. Okay, I mean, no, greatest integer function, the greatest integer less than the value inside the our GIF function. No? So let's say this is our GIF function. GIF. If had, let's say there is some value called 2.6, then GIF will return 2. Basic mathematics, class 11th mathematics. That's it. Okay. Moving forward, we have completed our basic arithmetic. We have completed our basic arithmetic operators. Okay. We will cover conditional operator after some time. Okay. Now coming back to integers. Now what integer are? Let's say you initialize a variable called 10 equals to 10. Okay, don't be confused. This 10 is a variable. This 10 is the value. Okay. Now we have seen all of the operations you can perform on integers. Okay, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, floor division, modulus, exponentiation of it to the power operator. Okay. Now it has some properties. What properties? Now let's say you want to create a very big number. Okay, a very big number. Very big number. Do you think that the memory can hold this number? Okay. I mean, this is not a binary number. This is not a binary number. This is an integer number. Okay. I mean, you can just change the some values to 3, 4, 5. So you just don't think that this number is not a binary number. This is an integer number. So our RAM can hold the maximum, the largest number you can actually store in a variable called 10 is the maximum size allowed by the memory. Okay, if your RAM is 16 GB and and the RAM has a free space of, let's say, 1 GB, so you can store that much amount of number or the size of number in the in the RAM. Okay. Now there are some different techniques we use. Okay. Actually, because we can't store that this big number na, in our RAM, so we use different techniques. Those techniques are literally out of scope of everything. Okay, those are parts of data structures and algorithms. Okay, similarly, now why I explain this? Like the largest value that you can store is as large as first of all 2 to the power 64, 2 to the power 64. Let me explain what 2 to the power 60 is. As large as the memory allows. Now you've seen that there is a 2 to the power 64 appears. Okay, when I was writing as large as 2 to the power 64. What 2 to the power 64 means? That you have heard about that we have two types of systems, 32-bit system and 64-bit system. Okay. So 64-bit is a very, very large number. And 64-bit represent that you can store a single largest variable of that size. What does that mean? Let's say there. Wait a second. Give me 5 minutes. Sorry for the little inconvenience. Now, moving forward, what 2 to the power 64 means that in a 64 bits system, a 64, obviously, this is the value of 2 to the power 64, first of all. Come on, come on, come on. AI, do your work. Yeah, very good. This is the value of 2 to the power 64. I will just comment this thing. This is the value of 2 to the power 64. And there are that many different spaces available on your hardware or your system, or you can play with this many values in a 2 to the power 64 bit machine. What does that mean? Don't worry about it. Okay, that's out of scope of the variable. I just want to tell you. Moving forward, that's the discussion on integer. And someone asked that are we going to just variables? No, we will complete. We will try to complete till conditional operators till 10 p.m. Okay, then there is half an hour break. And from 10:30 to 11:30, we'll try to complete conditional statements and for loops. Okay. Now float.py. Again, there is very similar discussion with float.py. Let's see what uh, generate code with AI. Okay, generate code with AI. Okay, explain float. Let's try this. Explain floating point number. You, if you want to read it, you can read it. Okay? I will just share all of these documents with you. Okay, accept. Now, let's say we have a floating point value a equals to 1.5. 1.5. Okay, b equals to 2.0. Now, all of the operation which we performed on integers will work on float also. Okay, float also. Now let's see what other things float have for us. Now there is one thing that, see, read this line. What where is this? Now float uses some now float is stored as a as in binary in the memory. Okay, they are not directly stored. Also, same goes for the integers. This 10 is also being converted to binary then stored. This thing is also being converted to the binary then stored in the memory. Okay, and same goes for the float. But due to conversion and floating point values, there are some errors which occur in float while we are doing calculations with floats. And to show that, I will ask you one thing. What is 0.1 plus 0.2? Okay, give me one answer. What is 0.1 plus 0.2? That's obviously 0.3, right?
Yes.
Let me just print it. Okay? It prints 0.300000000 and then end with the 4. What this 4 represent? It represent the, I mean, I don't want to go into detail, but yeah, this error occurs. And to the go around or this at the or to avoid this error is to not write 0.2, instead write 0.1 plus 0.1. Okay, and then you will get 0.3, basic 0.3. Oh, still 0.4. Still 0.4. Okay, to now why 4? Why this value is ending with 4? Do anyone have any is anyone have any idea what's happening right here?
Garbage value.
Not exactly garbage value, but what happened? Let's see that there is a basic size of a byte is being given to values. Okay, if I say print size of no, oh yeah, I love C because C has this function of size of. Okay, let's say just a Python does not have this function, right? No? Python does not have this functionality. Size of is not defined. Okay, no problem. But we can always go and Google the size of integers, size of float in 64-bit systems. It's a 4 byte. And what happened during the conversion of those floating point values to the binary and then adding them up in during the computer logic ADC and DAC. And when they convert those binaries to the float once again, there is this 0.4 hanging. This the 4 at the last hanging there. Okay, this and that 4 comes from here. 4 bytes. Float is the size of 4 bytes. That's why there's this 4 here. Okay, there is not intrinsic reason. You can't actually repair this thing. Okay, but yeah, that's it. You can also now this is the discussion on float. We'll discuss something on string.py. Okay, now string is a little bit more interesting. We have different values for strings, different we have different methods with strings. Okay, now सबसे पहले declaration of string देखते हैं. So let's say name equals to Dhruv. Okay, surname equals to Chaturvedi. That's my name. Okay, that's my name. Now what you can do, you can add these strings. Okay, you can create a, let's say uh, names, first name डालता हूँ मैं. First name. Okay, and then you can add those values. You can add those values. Okay, you can create another variable called name and you can add these things. First name plus surname. Print name. Ah, oh, sorry. See, Dhruv Chaturvedi, it just added these two strings for me. Okay. So what happened? This is called concatenation. We have some operation in string provided by Python to us. The first operation we are studying is concatenation. Concatenation is addition or merging of two strings. Okay, concatenating two strings. Okay, or you can say concatenation. Okay, can also say or concatenation. Concatenation. Okay. Then there is okay, let me just do this thing. Okay, I will just write all of the methods available or operations available in strings. Okay, operations available in strings. First of multi-line comment. We will use multi-line comment for this thing. One, we have concatenation. Second, we have repetition. Okay, yep, repetition. Third, we have indexing. Fourth, we have slicing. We will understand all of these operations right now. Length, comparison, iteration also, membership also, and then iteration. It is about iteration. Now we will understand each of these. Okay, concatenation is done. Concatenation is nothing but you can add one string, you can add more than two strings with each other. Okay, now you can even add this, you can add even add a one single character. Let's say I want to add a space, okay, to this thing. Add a space, and if I try to run the script now, I have a space between my name. Okay, you can add on, there are escape sequences we will study later in the series. Okay. Now these are different operations you can perform on strings. Repetition. What is repetition? Yeah. Let's say I want to print my name, but 5 times. I can do that. But in Python gives me the ability to do that. Now, if I say Python string.py, my entire thing, Dhruv Chaturvedi, Dhruv Chaturvedi, Dhruv Chaturvedi, Dhruv Chaturvedi, and Dhruv Chaturvedi is being printed 5 times. I will just comment out this thing. I don't want to print this the rest of the thing. No? And I will just print my first name 5 times. Okay. See, it print is Dhruv, 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 Dhruv. Okay. This is our repetition. You can or you can use any positive integer here. Okay, you can't use a negative integer there. You can't actually multiply a string by a negative number. Okay, you can multiply to a positive number, and that many time your string is being printed, or your if you are passing this value is equivalent to first name written 5 times. Okay, that's it. You don't have to understand this thing in more detail. Now, what is indexing? Now, what is indexing? Like that's a comment out. Okay, let's see indexing. Indexing is a little bit interesting concept. So before indexing, I will explain you length. Okay. Print first name len. So we use this function len. So len, what len does? It sees, okay, I have this variable passed into me. Okay. Now I will go and check how many letters or characters are present in this thing. So we have 1, D, H, 2, R3, U4, and V5. We have 5 characters in this variable first name. So when I do this, and I will just say Python string.py, 5 being printed on the console. Now the case is in programming, we index thing with 0. Okay, so if what does that mean? That indexing start from 0 and ends at len first name -1. Okay, so what does that mean? That this is 5. So the value of the value or the location this the value is stored is 0. The other location, the second value is stored at location 1. The first value was stored at location 0, second was stored at location 1, and then third is second, and you may get the idea that the length is 5, so the last final element is stored at length -1. Okay, so if you want to print, let's say print first name, first first name, I index the first variable or first character, and when I print this thing, it will print just D. If you want the second character, you will put 1. Okay, H. If you want the third character, so if you want the third character, you will put 2. Okay, and here we have R. That's printed to it. That's indexing. Moving forward, we have slicing. Now, what slicing is? Slicing is actually like literally slicing down the string. Now let's create a big string. Name equals to first name plus surname. Okay, name equals to first name plus surname. Now I want slicing. Now what slicing? We have a default syntax for slicing. Uh, so the we have a value of string. Okay, so we start. Okay, we start and then step. So what the start is the starting index from which we want to we want our slicings to start, and is the last index at the index before which we want to stop, and step is the step size of the of all of those indexes. Let me explain it with a diagram. Okay, what indexing is. Let's say you have a very big string called this number. Okay, this string THRU here IIT Bombay IIT Bombay. Okay, so I has an index 0. Okay, okay, I will just 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. How many letters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this makes perfectly sense. Okay. Now I want to start slicing. I said, let's say that the variable name is, let's say this is just a variable. Variable equals to this thing. Variable is equals to this thing. And I want to start slicing. Okay, so this is our syntax for slicing. I will say, hey variable, come here. Come here, variable, come. So where start from index 0, go till index 3, and take steps, not go till index 3, go till index 6, take steps 2. Let's first we will see what it actually prints. Print, we will create a variable called IIT Bombay, this thing, huh? Okay. Print variable starting from 0 till 6 and take steps 2. It prints IT0. 80. Let's see then. So what happened? It started with this index. We'll just use a different color. Okay. Shit. So what happened? That it started at this index. This index. It has to and take a step of 2. Take a step of 2. Okay. Now it reached it. It was at index 0. Now it's at index 2. Now again it will take a step and it will reach which index 4. Then it will take an step and reach index 2. So what happened? So this you can think of this range as this thing. Start at 0, go till 6, and your step size is 2. So we are not going to include this variable. Okay. So this thing is being printed, this thing is being printed, this thing is being printed, but this is not. And what are these things? See, I, T, and 0. right? IT0. You can always guess what you are going to print. Like, okay, starting from 0, and you can also do this thing. You can now, let's say this is 2. Now what is going to print? Start. Let's see. So now this index is 2. Now this index is 2. Okay, this index is 2. What if this index is 2? If our starting index is 2, so we are starting from here. If we are starting from here, the starting from index 2, this variable. So this thing will be printed. This thing will be printed, and this thing is not going to print it. So 2 and 4. What we have at 2 and 4? We have t and 0. And if I just print statement, I have t0. Okay, this is slicing basics. Okay. Now going into more detail, you can do this. You can reverse a string. Now print. Let's say now we have negative indexes. We have negative index in Python. Now what is negative index? So this is a positive index. Let me just erase this thing. Okay, erase this thing. Now we have this. Okay, shit. We have this thing now. Control C and -1, -2, minus not exactly. -9, -8, -7, -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -2. So this is our negative index. And what negative index does? It actually equals to these values. Okay. It is equals to this value. So y is at -1 index, or if in talking about positive terms, it is at index 8, and a is -2, b -3, m -4. Okay, all of these things. Now we can actually do a negative indexing also, or negative slicing also. Let's say you want to print the string in the negative order. Print variable, print var starting from -1. Okay, we will just do this thing now. We will just try to print the same thing, 0, 2, 4, 6. So we don't want this to be included. So we will start from this index -3. We will go till -9 with step 2. And nothing printed. What happened? -2. My bad. Okay. Also, the step size for this thing, when you are doing negative slicing, you should also mention that your step size is -2. Okay. So if step size is positive, it will go in this direction. If step size is negative, it will go in this direction. Okay. So you can now you may get you should get some idea with it. Okay. Like I can go in negative direction. I have the access to this thing. That means I can reverse a string with the help of slicing. Okay, so we have string reversal, but that's the question for today's assignment. You can, so what would be that reversing a string with the help of slicing. I will explain a little bit more slicing before that. So it will be easy, not that hard. Now let's say you didn't want to mention step size. Okay. Now there are some more versions of slicing also. Let's say print var from 0 to 6 1. What is going to print what? All of the variables, all of the characters from 0 to 5. So 0 to 5 or till 0. Okay. Till 0. Um, okay. So IITBOM. So prints all of the variables still are index 5. Okay. Sorry, index 5, M. Yeah. Now, what if you don't want to write this number 1? You can ignore it. When your step size is 1, you don't have to mention it. Don't have to mention it. You can just do this thing and it will again give me the same result. And even you can ignore this double semicolon. You can ignore this double colon. And then if you are going to do this, it will again print the same thing. You can ignore the step size. If your step size is 1, okay. If your step size is 1, you can ignore it. That's the only case. Otherwise, you can't ignore your step size. Okay. Now, let's say you want your starting index to be 0, then you can also ignore your starting index. You can also ignore your starting index, but don't forget to put a double colon here, because if you don't put a semicolon, it will be equivalent to an index. It will be equivalent to what indexing is. Okay, indexing is this now variable, and then creating this double brackets and then putting some value inside it. Okay, that's indexing. This is an integer value. Okay, from the index. Okay, so we have to put a semicolon here so that our interpreter recognizes this as a valid statement. Okay, valid statement. Don't forget, our so-called double colon. Now you do this. It will again give me the same result, because after all, we are just indexing it from 0 now. And similarly, let's say you want to start from 3 till end. So want to slice it from 3 to end, you don't have to mention what your ending index. And if you do this, it will print Bombay. Why? Because it prints everything after this. So BOMBOY. So it prints BOMBOY after 3, index 3, after index 3, right? Now you can also do this thing. Print var. Let's say you want the entire string with but with step 2. So you can do this double colon with step 2. Okay, 2 double colons and then step 2. What does that mean? Okay, so here we have take the initial index, take the final index with the step size 2, and it will print what from here to here. Now I will just run the program now. So it will print it. Okay, I will just comment out this thing. It printed ITOBY. So what is ITOBY? So starting from this values I, takes step size to T, takes step size to 0, takes step size to B, takes step size to Y. ITOBY. ITOBY. If you want to print the entire string, okay, with the step size 2, you can also do this -2. What -2? It knows that you have put a minus here. That means you are trying, and when there is a minus, the interpreter is smart enough to understand here at this place, this is not the starting index, this is the ending index, or we are talking about the starting index but in the negative sense. Starting index it in the negative sense. When you put 2, it will print the same thing but in the reverse order. By BOTI, by B, by BTOY. Oh, OTI. Okay. So it prints the negative one. So this is hint for string reversal problem. Okay. Moving forward, what we have here? We have length, we have slicing, we have comparison. You can compare two strings. Let's say I have string 1, which is hello. String 2 is again hello, obviously. String 2 is comparison, and you want to compare two strings. Okay, but before comparison, I want to tell you about conditional statements. Okay, it's already 10 o'clock, so we will take on half an hour break from at this point. Okay, we will join at 10:30.